ওয়েলকাম টু মাই ইউটিউব চ্যানেল। আশা করি তোমরা সবাই ভালো আছো। এর আগের ভিডিওতে আমি তোমাদের ক্লাস 12 ফোর্থ সেমিস্টারে ইংলিশ থেকে অ্যালিস ইন ওয়ান্ডারল্যান্ড তোমাদের 2 মার্কসের কিছু ইম্পর্টেন্ট কোশ্চেন আলোচনা করে দিয়েছি। আজকে আমি তোমাদের এখান থেকে কিছু 6 মার্কসের কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার দিয়ে দেবো। চ্যানেলে যারা নতুন, চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করে রাখো, আর ভিডিওটা ভালো লাগলে লাইক এবং বন্ধুদের শেয়ার করে দিও। তাহলে বন্ধুরা আরম্ভ করে দিচ্ছি। আমার প্রথম কোশ্চেন, what can we learn about Alice as a character from the narrative? From this narrative, we learn that Alice is an inquisitive and adventurous girl. Her curiosity leads her to follow the white rabbit without hesitation, eager to find out where he is going. She also enjoys sounding intelligent, often recalling what she has learned in school and trying to apply big words and complex ideas even when they do not always make perfect sense. Alice is also shown to be self-critical and reflective. At one point, she imagines scolding herself for cheating in a game, showing that she holds herself to high standard, even in but thought. Overall, Alice comes across in imaginative, curious, and eager to explore, but also thoughtful and eager to do what's right. Next question. Why did Alice think of her cat Diana during the fall? What strange thought did she have about bats and cat? During her long fall down the rabbit hole, Alice suddenly thought of her pet cat Diana. She wondered whether Diana would miss her while she was gone. Alice loved Diana very much. Everything around her felt strange, so she wanted to think of something familiar. Thinking of her dear cat brought her comfort in the middle of such a strange and confusing situation. It helped her feel calm. Next question এ উত্তরটা, as the fall continued, she began to wonder in a dreamy and curious way whether cats eat bats or bats eat cats. This odd question reflected how her imagination was influenced by the Byro situation. Her mind started mixing up ideas, and she seemed to enjoy following the thought. It revealed her playful nature and her tendency to explore strange questions for fun. Next question. What did Alice do when she found the cake labeled "Eat Me"? What did her thought and action suggested about she view Wonderland? When Alice found the cake labeled "Eat Me", she did not hesitate much. She thought that if eating it made her grow larger, she could reach the key on the label, and if it made her smaller, she could get under the door. Both results would help her get into the beautiful garden. So she began by eating a little, then quickly finished the whole cake. Next answer ta, her action or thought shown that she was beginning to accept Wonderland's strength and magical rules. She was no longer frightened by unusual things. Instead, she expected them. Her radiance to try the cake, along with her logical thinking, so that she was both adventurous and practical. It also suggested that she was becoming more confident in dealing with the strange surprise in Wonderland. Next question. What does Alice's habit of taking to herself reveal about her inner thought and personality? How does her pretending to be two people related to the theme of identity in the story. Why does she say, there are hardly enough of me left to make one respectable person? Alice's habit of thinking to herself and giving herself advice shows that she is trying to stay sensible and claim inner strength. Unpredictable word. Unpredictable world. She often scolds herself, reflects on her action, and even tries to encourage herself, revealing a thoughtful and self-conscious personality. Her pretending to be two people connected to the theme of identity. As her size changed, she started to question who she is, see whether she has become someone else. This shows her confusion about her own identity. Has she struggled to understand herself in a world where nothing remained the same? Next, when she says there is hardly enough of her left to make one respectable person, it means that she feels very small and uncertain. Her sinking makes her feel like she is losing herself. Next question, 5 eta. What did she observe on the walls of the wall as Alice fell down the well? How did her action reflect her thoughtful nature? As Alice was falling slowly down the well, she had time to look around. She noticed that the side of the well were filled with cardboard and bookshelf. There were also maps and pictures hanging from peg. It looked where the it looked more like the inside of a house than a well. On one of the shelves, she also spotted a jar labeled orange marmalade. Alice took down the marmalade jar to examine it, but found it was empty. Instead of dropping it, she managed to place it on another shelf. As she continued falling, she avoided dropping it as she did not want to risk hurting someone below. This small action shows her thoughtful and considerate nature, even while falling thought a strained and unexpected situation. Alice remained calm, curious, and careful not to cause harm to others. Why does Alice go down the rabbit hole? Alice goes down the rabbit hole because her curiosity is sparked by something completely out of the ordinary. She says a talking wild rabbit in a waistcoat angrily checking a pocket watch and rushing by. This strange sight instantly captures her attention. She is indeed intent because she is feeling bored, detached, bored and detached from the dullness of her surrounding. She does not stop to think about the consequences. Instead, she acts on impulse, driven by her imaginative and adventurous nature. The rabbit represents a break from the routine or predictability of our world. By following it, Alice stepped away from reality and entered a realm where the rules are different and anything is possible. Her fall down the rabbit hole symbolized plunge into the subconscious, where dreams, nonsense, and fantasy take over. Ultimately, Alice goes down the rabbit hole because she is seeking something exciting, magical, and entirely unlike our ordinary life. আচ্ছা বন্ধুরা, আশা করি তোমাদের আজকে যে 6টা কোশ্চেন দিলাম তোমরা বুঝতে পেরেছো। চ্যানেলের সঙ্গে যুক্ত থাকো। নেক্সট ভিডিওতে আমি তোমাদের এখান থেকে আরও কিছু 2 মার্কস আরও 6 মার্কসের কোশ্চেন দিয়ে দেবো। তারপর আমি তোমাদের নেক্সট ভিডিওতে চলে যাব। আর ভিডিওটা ভালো লাগলে বন্ধুদের শেয়ার করে দিও। আর কারোর যদি কোনো অসুবিধা থাকে আমাকে কমেন্ট করে জানিও, আমি সেই কোশ্চেনের অ্যান্সার দিয়ে দেবো। আচ্ছা বন্ধুরা, ভালো থেকো।